Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 2 of Logical Optimism with Nugi and me. We are proud to present episode 2, and episode 2, as you can see, is about to be about the flashback and the end of the league. So there might be, I think we agree we'll probably do a short episode today, Nugi.
Yes.
These are our two topics. See, professional intro, it's beautiful. How are you
Wow.
doing?
I'm doing good. I'm having a grand time
That's good.
with ED.
Yeah,
So,
I'm
so
surprised.
that means I'm happy. I'm happy playing PoE at the end of the league, which is not something I'm always happy about. So that's always a good sign. So, yeah. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely know that right before this was starting, like, not so much the last day, because the last day I was doing a play with me, but the day before, I was like, I don't want to start my stream right now. I'm so fucking bored. Which is not a good feeling at all now, because it's just like, the 2 days before Flashback, I was like, I just want Flashback now. Give me
Yeah,
Flashback.
that's true.
But yeah, no, it's been really fun. I mean, I love watching people die. Not so much when they die to DCs and stuff, but I love watching people die to fuck ups. It's so
Yeah.
great. It's people suffering, enjoyable. Um, but yeah, no, it's been really fun, and there's been so many deaths and fun highlights. And I mean, I was so happy when I saw you die, and I didn't know it was you because your name was like "fuck Winter War" basically. And
What? No, it's Walk Forb.
yeah, which is basically the same. Um,
No, that's not what it means at
Is it
all.
not? Okay. But anyway, so I was like, yeah, that's what you get for blaspheming against Winter Orb. Oh no, it's Nugi. That was like pretty much my reaction. So, but yeah. So, as far as topics goes, we're gonna have a long talk about the flashback and things like what we played, what we did, and talk about deaths and some tactics and stuff. And then we'll move on to the end of the league after that. So, do you want to start us off with what did you play with? You did a lot of Essence Drain. Did you do other stuff too?
I tried Burning Arrow yesterday, and it was honestly better than expected at the DPS I had, but the build was not really what I needed to push. Because like I want to push to a high level. I want to guarantee that I should cure myself on alt demi, and you only guarantee yourself with a level 100. So I was thinking that character's gonna
Unless you're
die.
Slayer, then it's like level 92 for a guarantee.
Yes, unless you're Slayer. But I'm not Slayer. Right, so we reload into ED. So I'm on my third ED character. I started with Deadeye, went to 91, died to an invisible explosion. Then what was the second one? Occultist, without the boom booms.
Without the boom booms.
Without the boom booms, you cannot go boom booms with the ED because it ruins the ED chain.
Yeah.
The contagion chain, so it like stops it in its tracks. And you have to
Right.
recast.
That
And the
makes
trick
sense.
about ED is casting once and then having as many screens die of that one cast, since you have to double cast every time.
And you were using Queen of the Forest, right?
It's really weird right now because I'm playing Hierophant.
Yeah.
I'm not using Queen of the Forest. I might go Queen of the Forest.
Oh, you have one?
Yes, I have another one.
Oh, nice.
I
Look at
have-
this
I
big
have-
boy
I
over here
found
just
three.
raining Queen of the Forest. I found one
mean,
Queen of the Forest, and it
that's
was in
the
a Sana
only-
kind of die map. I was so tilted.
Uh,
And it was Parandus. I didn't have enough points. It wasn't even
oh
expensive.
no. Oh, that's unfortunate. No, I had I'm having real Queen of the Forest withdrawals right now because I'm like missing 50 movement speed.
Is that all you get from it now? 50?
Yes.
Oh.
It's still big.
know,
Like to
that's
go from
definitely-
150 to 200 it's big.
Yeah. But it's not 200% MS big.
No, it's a lot worse. It's actually harder to pull off now. Need a full 45k to get the full bonus. They opted from 500 to 600 evasion per movement speed.
Yeah. So how many deaths have you had this flashback?
3. Let me see. Deadeye, Occultist, and a reroll. Did I die on anything else? No, that was the only 3.
Both me and Havoc are on 4. Feels bad.
Yes.
Although like one was like a level 70 character, which is like 4 hours.
Yeah, I mean,
It's not
one
that
was a
bad,
level
but-
3 character.
Oh, okay. So you have 2 deaths then. Level 3.
I mean,
I remember that, but you actually lost
I
that.
count that one as a real death because I lost all my leveling gear.
Oh, that's so rough though. Dying like right after you just died. Oh, that is shitty. That's so rough. Yeah, no, I was pretty okay with mine level 70 because I had not like I had like 7 or 8 tabulas. For some reason, I think I've now have got 15 or 16 tabulas in SSF. And it's like ridiculous. I've just been volleying them all and not getting anything. I've had like 3 or 4 from cards, and then 3 from Kadiro, and then loads from drops, and 1 from Prophecy.
Yeah. Okay. I have a +1 and a +2 to curse.
Oh, that's what I've been trying to get.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Annoying. Yeah, no, like, I mean, obviously my day 1 was crazy. I got a tabula at like level... I got it from, must have been 45 or something, and it was from Tukohama.
Wow.
So I was like, oh my god,
Wow.
Tukohama drops the tabula on day 1. I just slowed the fuck down. I was like, there's no longer any need for me to be rushing. I don't care anymore. I'm just going to play it safe because I don't need to stay in Blood Aqueduct for 3 hours where everybody else for the most part will.
That's
so
true.
I just started playing so safe. I mean, I was still managed to stay rank 1, but I didn't like rush it anymore because that was like 3 hours saved already, right? So
I mean, the thing is, early on, if you have that piece that you're farming for anyways, you can just start farming earlier.
Yeah.
Because you're still generating like rings, amulets, you're generating all the currency. So it doesn't really matter where you farm. You can just start the farm early and make sure you're safe.
Yeah.
I think that makes total sense.
And I thought like, oh, this is my race. This is like, guaranteed level 100. Just gonna chill. And then at level 87, I get martyred.
Guarantees it.
Oh no, it's just such a nice start. You're in a good mood, and it's just like
okay.
And then later on, I dropped a natural 6 link, which was just so beautiful. Like I dropped a natural 6 link from, I can't remember what dropped it right now. I think it was an animation.
What type?
It was actually a really bad. It was a armor one. It was an armor.
Oh.
Yeah, full armor, I think. And I managed.
Could you color it?
So, I managed to get. I think it was like 2 blue or 3 blue. Yeah, I think it was 3 blue, 1 green, 2 red. And I was like, like, you know what? I can use this, but it's gonna be more interesting for me if I vol it, because I would have to use Cultifier and Inkturation, and ideally, I don't want to use Inkturation in the way I build my Winter Orb. So I was like, I'm gonna vol it. And then one of the reds turned white, and I was like, "Oh my god, that's my colors!"
Wait, really?
Yeah. Because I want 1 green, 1 red, and then the rest blue.
That's just so lucky, though.
Yeah. Because I was hoping for like +1 or +2, because then sure, even if it's unoptimized links, +2, that's worth it. So I was very, very excited.
Also, you actually went away from the ink duration in there, because I know you've been on that for a while.
Yeah,
right?
So I
used to use that.
I used to use ink duration and both duration wheels. But then, and some people do 1 duration wheel and then use ink duration. I feel it's better to use 2 duration wheels, but use the damage gem instead.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a lot better.
Like, I mean, the nodes you get are nice, because those are the 2 options I found. I always found it weird to use both duration wheels and the ink duration. Like, because you lose so much damage.
You have to have crazy damage somewhere else to do that. It's definitely nice for clear speed if you have enough.
Oh, yeah, I could see that.
And like especially if you don't have to deal with Beyond.
Yeah. Yeah, Beyond kind of makes that really, really hard to do.
Yeah. And I had, on my last character, I had insane damage. I had like 5 or 6k tooltip in town. And then like with everything up, I hit over like 11k tooltip without Ash's Mirror. So every Beyond boss was like, boom, insta-dying.
Do you know how much like average damage that is? Or like DPS that is on like a single target?
No, but I was in 83s even. I was like murdering Beyonds.
Okay.
So it was it wasn't even like, it was obviously not great, but it was like even in 70% monster life 83. So I was like, you know what? These are dying. And I switched to Armageddon brand because I hate Lightning Spire. I obviously even with advanced traps.
I see.
Yeah. Because
How
even with
that one gone?
So the way I rank it, and obviously the four options is you can use the Ice Bear, you can use Lightning Spire, you can
Yes.
use Val Blade
Yes.
Vortex, and then I think I'm the only
Yes.
one using Armor Brand. But
Yeah.
Armor Band, you stack so much cast speed on these characters. So it's
That's
so
true.
fast that you don't even notice the animation. It's that fast. It's like a 0.01 cast time. I can show you later. It's like a
Yeah,
beautiful
yeah, yeah, yeah,
animation.
yeah. Yeah, I can see that.
And
And Gegenbrand didn't really get
and
nerfed.
I
It
already
still has
had
high
like
damage.
and I already had Winter Orb doing a lot of damage, so Armor Band was definitely what I needed. Any
And then you
boss
can
with
run
like
around with
double,
it.
yes, exactly. I felt so safe.
Yeah,
So
it's
there was
way
very
better.
few things
I
that would
like
kill
that.
me. Whereas Lightning Spire, I
I
felt
don't
like,
like Lightning
like
Spire.
heaving a trap with like no cast speed, and people use the advanced traps or whatever it's called. It's just not enough. It's so slow. Steel was saying as well, like against like even the toxic boss, it's like, if that thing hits me on double boss, it's game over. So it's so scary.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, and like even the tier 13 bosses and 14, 15 bosses, they're just like instantly down. I think Moon
Yeah.
Temple boss with life was like 3-second kills. It was so good.
Uh-huh. Oh, that's nice.
So I was very happy with how that turned out. I do prefer Val Blade Vortex, but
Okay.
I did switch to Armageddon Brand just because of the fact that I can do Fist
I
Reflect
mean, I
now.
guess it depends on what kind of boss fight you're doing, right? Which would be
Yes.
better?
So for things
I guess
like
like
Moon
Ball
Temple or
Blade Vortex,
Portals,
once
Lightning
that
Spire is
always
nice.
kills, you're good.
Yeah. It's really nice. I just,
Yeah. I like
the
it.
Fist Reflect, you save so much currency.
Yeah, that's actually true. That's true.
And like, for
And you
character,
can use it on the fly as well, right? You don't
yes.
you never get stuck with like, let's say a hard like beyond boss spawns or whatever, like something that like just like throws you off, right? You have to like use your Ball Blade Vortex, and then another thing happens straight after. What do you do
Yeah.
without a Ball Blade Vortex up? You're kind
Well,
of just stuck there.
so for most of my builds, that's why I liked Armor Band more, because it's not a Val skill, right? So you don't have to rely
Yeah,
on it.
exactly. Yeah.
But for Val Blade Vortex, I found that I didn't really need to use it that much for Beyond Lords. I found like a lot of the Beyonds were generally okay.
Hmm.
It was mostly something for like, the Moon Temple boss, the Canyon boss, stuff like
Yeah.
that. Or just like
Yeah,
slap it
yeah.
down and then run around. So like I was never really endangering as
It
a
must be a
Canyon
lot
boss.
nicer on the Canyon boss.
Yeah. Oh, and that's the thing. Armor Band, so good against the Canyon boss.
Right, because they stack next to each other.
Yes, exactly. They stand next to each other. You can slam 2 down, and they're just
Yeah.
like boom, 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 boom. And when it's quad boss, you slap 3 down. It's
Yeah.
really nice. I really enjoyed it.
I like that.
Yeah, and that was like the 3 characters I had this league. I started out with the Elementalist, which was Winter Orb, and then as my second character, I was like, you know what? I was thinking I could do another Elementalist Winter Orb, and then the third one, I was like, how about Elementalist Winter Orb? And then for the fourth one, I was like, how about Elementalist Winter Orb, but with a Chrome's Heart? And the fourth one lasted very long. Obviously, I had a Chrome's Heart for my third character, or for my second character. So, I mean, obviously, all the choices I was making was I wanted to win the Elementalist Demi. That's usually my goal, is to go for like this sort of like the competitive. Like, I think like, what's the most competitive Alt-Art Demi? I'm gonna go for that. And then I didn't get it, so I'm very, very sad about that. Especially my last death was kind of unfair. Didn't like
kind of
it.
fun.
Kind of fun. Definitely a forehead death. And then now I'm currently
The thing
on
is,
a
the
higher
game will get you every now and then, right? So
Yeah. I think the most fun analogy I saw from my last death was like driving a car and a wheel hits your windshield. It's just like nothing you can do. So, but the majority of my deaths is me causing them. So having one now and again, that wasn't too bad.
nah.
But yeah, how were your deaths? Like, what were you feeling? Like, were you
I was just thinking
unfair
about it.
or?
Very unfair. I still. So I got kind of pissed on the first one. I'm like, really? Are we still like, what year are we in now? And there's still invisible
What was your
things
first one
going
again?
off.
Oh yeah.
It was the I died to invisible elder explosion. Like the wheel that like the what's it called? The AoE, the like expanding AoE, the expanding explosion. Yeah. I logged out because I was like, I'm in a bad spot. Let's just come back in. Log out, come back in. I waited like 5-10 seconds or something. I'm like, nothing is happening. I'm not seeing like residual explosions happening or anything.
Yeah.
I move, boom. Okay. That was fun. Thank you.
Yeah. What was your second death? Was that the one a
That
few days ago with the
was.
betrayal?
Oh yeah, that was the stacking traps on the wall.
Mm.
So apparently when Ashling, I think it's Ashling, when she does the 360 like Fist Chaos traps, if she is near a wall, they will all stack closer, like against the wall.
Yeah.
So I barely just like touched the corner, and I got like instant.
That is pretty brutal. That is pretty brutal. But to be fair, it's been a fun flashback.
I mean that one. I'll say the betrayal one. I was already scared going into like that little fight, so I'm not really too upset about that one. That one was like, okay, betrayal is scary. We go again.
Yeah.
But the elder one, that one hurt. That was not fun.
Pretty brutal. What sort of like lucky drops did you get this thing? Like,
None.
did you get nothing? You got nothing lucky,
Dude. I've
no
nothing.
sixing, nothing. Just shafted the entire thing.
I found like a natural sixling just now.
Wow.
That's like the first like decent thing I've found. Apart from like the Queen of the Forest, but the Queen of the Forest I've probably spent 3,000 fusing so far, and
Okay,
I
people
haven't
are saying you
sixlinged
found
anything.
3 Queen in the Forest and a Taste of Hate.
Finding a 12k coin taste of hate when you have 7k it's not lucky.
No, that's true.
That's
But did you remember to sign the contract with TDD to like increase your stream RNG, or did you forget?
I think I forgot.
Okay, that makes sense. How many Exiles and stuff did you find? Because I found a crazy amount.
I found 2 by level. I leveled 1 to 91, and then I found my first Exalt at 96 on the second run.
Oh, I think I found 11.
Yes.
So I think I've gotten all your RNG because I've had a Combs Heart drop. I made 16 gloves in 30 alterations or something. I've had 11 exalts, 2 natural 16s drop. One was a weapon, so whatever. So I don't know. I've had pretty great RNG this thing. A couple of nice uniques. Oh, I had a stupid amount of synthesized like fractured Valregalias. I've had like 16 or 17. I've even managed to make an item level 86 fractured Valregalia, which has the implicit that's 6 linked as well. I very quickly, when I had like, I think I had like 1,000 fusings, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try to 6 link this for my next character, because if this 6 links now, then I don't need to pick up 6 sockets anymore. And I'm just really enjoying rubbing all this RNG in right now. This is so enjoyable for me. Just like to like just gloat in your misery and your like 12k taste of hate. It's very enjoyable for me. So
I have like 40 fuses left.
That sounds fun.
I'm like, I don't even know. I'm like, I'm gonna use this natural 6ling until I die, I think.
But to be fair, like somebody said, all this RNG and he still couldn't win. So it doesn't always help.
I mean, I had the cultist one on my second reroll. So apparently the number 1 died just now. I'm like, no.
Oh, yeah.
It died like yesterday. I would have had that one then. Feels bad, man.
Yeah, it's crazy to see how many people have died. There's now only 2 level 100s. And there would have been
the second one.
That is Gal4214 is the account. Gal, I'm a casual, by the way.
Interesting.
Yeah, and then it would have been Crying would have hit level 100 by now as well. And we're about to have a first Trickster lock-in unless he dies. But, you know, it's 30% left. So I think Crying died with like 8% left or something. So, you know, there's no guarantee that he will finish either. Can go at any moment. Oh no, I just saw, no way, the other Elementalist I was competing against just died as well, and he was 99.5. Wow. So like just like an insane amount of level 99 deaths, 3 level 99 deaths already, and it's just crazy. I was just very upset because I had like such a crazy amount of sextants, so I could have definitely never gotten second, I think. Very frustrating. I was ready to go ham too.
Man. I would have gotten like third if I hadn't died. God damn.
Actually very tempted to reroll Elementalist, because technically there's no rank 1 Elementalist right now.
I mean, there's a 99.
Yeah.
Just dinged.
and then the second one.
Oh, that's okay. I mean, you could roll Elementalist straight up.
Where's the second one? There is no second one. I'm rolling
no, it's
Elementalist.
96.
No,
96.
no, there's no alive Elementalist. 94.
What? No, 96. Classic 2 PogChamp.
Oh yeah, sure. I didn't see him.
I mean, he's doing 12 mil.
12
No,
mil
I
an
mean,
hour at 96. Right, okay, let's like,
he's
I'm
going,
excited
he's
now.
going.
Show XP graph. The highest XP per hour he's had at 96 is 34 mil. I was getting 100. I'm very tempted now to reroll. Maybe I should just end the podcast now. I'm just kidding. I'm just very excited right now, okay? I actually might reroll Element List. Wow.
I mean,
And I could go CI.
Oh, that's not. Yeah.
I have
And
all the...
You could go off Hierophant. Oh, it sounds great. Ah, nice.
Yeah, you're definitely for this. And I still have the Hierophant. If I need to. I still have the Hierophant.
Yeah. Oh man, Garatha died yesterday again.
I know.
The Hierophant.
Yeah, and there has been so many deaths.
Dude, I'm looking at the Hierophant ladder. It's like there's a guy at rank 36, and then there's 4 people dead. Then rank 136, and then there's 10 people dead.
Oh yeah. For those of you who haven't, obviously the website that we're looking at, we don't really have something on the podcast to show websites and stuff right now. We're making that for hopefully next episode. But for those of you who can't see it, it's top 100 Hierophants is basically dead. There's just a slaughter.
Like
yeah, it's crazy. So obviously me and Nugi both rolled Hierophant. I'm probably gonna actually reroll Elementalist now. It's just I love Elementalist, dude. It's so enjoyable.
Yeah, it's really nice. It's really nice.
I don't know why soak anymore though.
I mean, you'll find one, I'm sure.
You just want me to get off Hyro. Yeah, I think I will actually, because that guy died.
Nice.
That's very high though. That means I still need to.
I mean, you need to push.
Need to get level 100.
Yeah.
Kind of want to level 100 anyway. Be easier on CI.
I need a level 100. If I don't get 100, it's gonna be gonna end up with a long beard.
Yeah, you have those challenges. That's true. That's true. And did you have any favorite deaths in the league? Obviously, we had like
yours.
So, which one? There's been so
the
many.
The Stormcall one, of course. That was funny.
Yeah.
I like your reaction. This is unfair. Boo.
It really was. It really was, though.
No,
it was.
It's good. It's glorious.
No. For those of you who don't know, there's been a lot of level 99 deaths this league. Crying died at level 99, and then there's like an occultist and an elementalist that I am not particularly familiar with, but also died at 99. I don't know if there's rip clips for those. Just a lot of your deaths. Havoc has had 4 deaths. Rice, I think, is on 3. You're on 2, well, basically 3. And Milv died very high. So a lot of deaths, a lot of really enjoyable deaths this league. Very, very fun. I feel like there were more bullshit deaths this league than I've ever seen before. People dying to like DCs and LMP synthesis things that just don't make sense. Like Havoc just got eaten alive by like a blue like curtain.
How do you know what that was?
Yeah, they just completely busted with LMP.
Really?
Yeah. I was.
Is it a spell? Is it an attack?
I actually don't know if it's a spell or attack, but I was re-rolling every LMP, every crit, and I would do them on a memory because they're so annoying to re-roll. Like I'd have to go in there and then leave. I would just rather run through it very quickly, and I mean that's what killed me. But every time I got like my own modifier, I would like right-click delete everything with crit, everything with LMP, and I had one which had crit, LMP, triple damage, and I was like, oh no, oh no, definitely not doing that. So like I got some crazy ones, and I mean I saw some of the fucking, like the one crying died in was pretty fucking bonkers as well. It's like 5 damage mods.
Yeah, it was. I think the worst damage mod I've done was minus max, then monster damage and double Ellie damage.
Oof.
And fleeting. That was spoopy. It was like it was the first time I really started taking damage, cause I did LMP all the time with double damage. I did crit all the time. It was fine. The thing is, you get hit so often. So if you have the like, there's so many like spammable things. There are not that many monsters in there that actually hit hard. It's all like spam. So when you have like evasion,
There's a couple.
and
oh right, yeah, I see what you mean. Like you'll hit multiple times. Yeah.
yeah, it's like multi-hit. Everything's multi-hit.
Yeah.
So if you're like strong against that type, you're kind of okay.
Yeah.
Do you take the cannot be crit if you've been crit recently? Because I take that one. I barely notice crit. The only thing that really gets me if I've been running around a lot and then a random Nam spear hits me.
Nam is definitely what I'm the most scared
That's
of.
the
'Cause
scariest
I
thing.
really like wearing a jade flask, but Nam single-handedly makes me want to have a basalt. So for those of you who don't know, the Beyond Lord Nam has Resolute Technique. That means that no matter if you have 50,000 evasion, you have face acro, doesn't matter. He will hit you. And I actually had Nam do the spare for, I had 7.7k life, like 7777 basically. And he hit me for 7k and then jumped on me instantly. But obviously I had Immortal Call. That was immune to fist damage, and there was no LE damage on the map or I would have been dead. But that's the scariest thing. Scariest thing. He hits you.
And because I think it's also because the way the mods stack in there, you get double, triple damage mods so often in instances. So he gets really scary.
Yeah, it's crazy. So no, I actually don't use Solaris. I was using, so it depends on some character. I was using Lunaris with the avoid projectiles that cannot be chained, because lightning golem, it's actually worth using as long as you're not doing incursion stuff. It's just, it's so much. And then you have obviously the Merveil with 10% avoid projectiles.
But you're elementalist, right?
Yes.
So do you use the golem one?
No.
Oh, you just have it.
No, lightning golem is so nice, dude. That's so much cast speed. In a world where I was struggling with single target, and like that's a good ascendancy anyway. Like avoid chain, dodge attacks and spells if you've been hit recently, and 10% avoid projectiles, and the 8% movement speed, fist reduction. They're all the things I want.
Yeah, it's all
and
good.
yeah, like
except if you don't want to get crit.
Yes, that is nice. That is very nice. And the avoid ailments, because obviously I don't usually get shock immune. So there's definitely some good arguments.
Oh, you don't?
No, like I'm terrified of shock. I was trying to get crafting blood jewels so I could ditch crafting blood and get shock immune instead.
Yeah, I see.
But I felt like, I mean, I have a wise oak and stuff. I don't anymore. I actually vendored one because I didn't think I would possibly need 3. So I used it in a 5-to-1 recipe, which I now regret.
I guess with that one, because that's reduced damage taken, which stacks with shock, making it less scary. I guess that's nice, yeah. At least shock round, like it almost nullifies shock round, right?
Yep.
That's kind of nice. I like that idea.
So, yeah, I don't know. It's some frustrating deaths this thing, but at least there were a lot of other people who had fun deaths as well. But yeah, I mean, Crying's death was like harsh to look at, like so close to 99. There's very rarely deaths at like 99.8 plus or 99.7 plus.
I mean, I think it goes to show with deaths like that is like how close to the line that we're going whenever we race. A lot of people will say, if you look at like comments after someone dies at a high level, like, oh, that guy, that was a terrible death. What a newbie mistake. But the thing is, when you're playing for hours on end and you're running thousands of maps, I mean, at some point you're gonna make one mistake that looks stupid out of all that.
Yeah.
And it's that one time you make that one mistake, you die.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same thing with the walking into the wall, right? I was walking to the middle, I kind of like, I think to myself, oh, let me just like walk down here. And like a split second, I'm gone.
Yeah. No, it's crazy. And I mean, I think a lot of people, especially that are commenting and stuff like that, forget that level 98 is halfway to 100. So getting to like 95, 96, 97 deathless can be like incredibly easy, especially in low tier maps. Like the difference in like tier 13s to tier 16s is like crazy.
Yeah.
So, and that was going to be what I was going to do on my Hierophant. I was just going to spam tier 13s because I didn't figure I would be able to get enough damage for 16s and go fast. I also didn't think I would need to. But, yeah, no, especially, yeah, like you said, it's just one mistake and it's all gone, right?
It's
And,
all gone.
yeah, it's on such an exponential curve where it's such a long grind. Yeah. There's so much time for someone to die, and that's why I always reroll too. Because, and a lot of people don't, but even if somebody else is 97, I want to at least set myself up in the opportunity of like, if that guy dies at
Yeah, yeah.
99, I want to be a 97 or 98.
Yep. Yep.
Um, and a lot of people will sometimes bring up examples like, oh, this person doesn't die a lot and stuff. But some of the people use as examples, they'll play one or two characters and then give up after the first one. It's easy to only have one death if you don't make more characters. Whereas like obviously there are several streamers and several racers that will just fucking keep going. It's like, okay, death number 4, I don't care, nobody's won yet. So,
I mean, PoE is an accumulation of XP as well.
Yes.
So when you have all the maps, we have all the maps, the sextants, right? You have the influence set up, you have like everything set up, and you have the gear as well to push your character harder to where you can roll even more mods. All of a sudden, you're just going twice as fast. And since the later levels mean so much, you can get to like 95, 96 within a day, right? And then you're like on par with the other guy, or almost caught up.
Yeah. Especially dying on like day 1. It just doesn't matter. I definitely...
you should never get discouraged. Never.
Definitely go too fast at day 1, day 2. There's just no need for risk. There's no need being top 10. Because, I mean, look at my deaths. It's been rank 1, rank 4, and rank 9. So even with all my deaths, they've all been in top 10. So if I just, played safer, waited more, crafted more gear, such a good chance of having rank 1 just by going slower. And I gotta, Gucci was like, there's no way a Trickster is gonna beat Elementalist to rank 1. But if I'd gone slightly slower and been, just tanky the entire time, then, maybe that was the play. I definitely get a little bit caught up when I am rank 1. I'm like, oh, I gotta push, I gotta stay rank 1. Whereas the majority of the races that I have won and stuff like Mayhem, I wasn't even top 10 for the majority of the race until 98, 99. And I just got all the gear I wanted and then pushed.
Yep.
I was like, now I'm safe, let's go. Can't die now. So, slow and steady is usually better to win the entire race.
I mean, I don't think it's... So I think there's a misconception though with how these races work, to a point at least. With being not top level doesn't mean you're going slow. Like accumulating the right gear, the right stuff, and setting yourself up. Right? It could be setting up your multi-mod early on, for example.
Yeah.
That'll make you go way faster later. But that doesn't mean you're going slow. That just means you're focusing your energy on things that are not accumulating XP, but they're accumulating XP in the long run, because they will make you a lot faster once you get to the XP push.
Yeah. So, and sort of the same thing happened in the beach race, where it was like me and, well, a few people were ascending Hierophant. And I tried to avoid reading chat. But the entire race, people were like, Ziz, why are you so far behind? And I was just so triggered. I was like, I'm not behind. I'm just doing a different method. And I did end up it was neck and neck. It was like me, Woggle, and Ty. Me and Woggle had ascended and Ty hadn't. And if Havoc hadn't died, it would have been all 4 of us at exactly the same point. But it's so frustrating. Same with if someone dies on day 1, or if you're going slower on day 1, people are like, why are you so slow? And it can be really frustrating. Whereas you just gotta ignore it, obviously. But for me, it's frustrating.
I don't know if I find it's if you know what you're doing. I mean, it's a good opportunity to talk about why things work the way they do. I mean, I guess if I don't know. For me, I don't really mind it. I mean, we've seen it so many times. All you need to do is refer back to all the times where people weren't first.
Yeah.
Right on day 1, and it happens all the time. I mean, Ayla is never day 1.
Oh yeah.
Overall first on day 1, and never.
Yeah.
And he's won how many times now? So I mean.
Yeah. Yeah, it was really interesting when I looked up Ayla and he was playing a Stormbrand Jug and then he just quit. I was like, yep.
Yeah, I
That
saw that.
did not sound
Did he
fun.
die on that
No,
guy
no, he just
as well?
retired it. He was just like, oh, fuck this shit.
Uh, do you know why? Like, why he didn't go on his normal?
I don't know.
Did he just want to try something new?
I really don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. And he's from Taiwan, right?
Yeah, I think so.
And it's recently announced that obviously Korea is going to be joining us as well, which is really cool. And they're actually joining our
Oh.
realm,
Oh,
which
right,
is
right. They
huge.
are. How's that gonna work? Are they gonna have servers?
Well,
Are
they'll
they
be
gonna be
like
in a
same as
better
like
spot
Australia
than?
and stuff,
Ah,
but
okay.
they're not having like a separate kind of client like China. They're not gonna like different
Mm-hmm.
stuff. They're gonna be on our servers,
Okay.
on their own like regional servers, which
Yeah,
is
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
very excited about that, especially as a streamer.
So that means they have like long loading times, right? But
Yes,
like whenever they're playing, they'll have
yes,
fine ping.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay.
So still have to connect through Texas,
Yeah. Okay.
but
Oh, that's
yeah,
really
it
cool.
should be
That's
so
a
good for the game.
yeah. That's a lot of influx of players.
Yeah. And they'll probably reply to trades. Like, whenever
I
I message people for trades now, I
wonder.
message Russians first because they always reply.
Oh, really?
Hmm?
Interesting.
Yeah, if you see a guy named, like, Funny Joe or, like, Oak or something, that fucker's not gonna reply. If I see, like, Russian Cyrillics, that guy wants money. He's gonna reply right the fuck away.
Huh.
So, fuck messaging Western names, dude. I just go straight to the Russians.
You're saying Russians are more polite than Westerners?
No, they just reply. Because, you know what?
But I mean,
No,
isn't that polite?
no. They just like they like money more than we do. Like, okay, so like if someone called Nestle Rules or something has listed something 2 weeks ago for 2C, he's just gonna be like, I don't want to reply to this. But like somebody's called like Rosho or something, that fucker's gonna reply like,
Sure. Yeah.
so good.
Interesting.
I
I'll
think.
remember that if I ever go on a trade again.
Mm,
Dude, I love SSF. I think
not
that's also
trading.
why I'm having so much fun right now. It's just so good, so good.
Yeah. I like SSF for the race part. I can't stay on the league ever again. Because I remember
Really?
staying and I was like, I was gonna try a full league on SSF. And
Oh,
there was some
okay.
shitty unique I got stuck behind that I really need for my build and I just couldn't farm it. There was no div card and just nothing. I think it was
Do
the
you remember which
threshold.
one it was?
No, I have no idea. It doesn't matter.
Oh, a Jewel? Yeah,
It
yeah, yeah.
was something.
There's
It was
been plenty of
something that I was
them.
like, this is garbage. I'm not having fun. I was stuck in low level maps MFing with rarity and I was like, I fucking hate this. I just want to play this fucking build. Everyone was like, just fucking transfer. And I transferred and I fucking hate SSF. But as long as I can play something that's really strong, like Winter Orb, and it's super fun, then it's great. I love it. And I would love a group fan thing. I think group fan, especially not like super long ones, like 96 races, 98 races, like 100 races is a bit far. But yeah, I like that.
I like
That'd
that
be
too.
fun.
Yeah.
Ugh. Whereas, I don't know. I feel like the group races of Trade League, they're just gonna like, if it became more and more popular, I think it would take an unhealthy turn at some point. Because you can have somebody just feeding currency. And traders and stuff isn't that fun.
Yeah. Wait, so you're saying? I mean, okay, so you think that the group races would take an unhealthy turn
On
at some
Trade League,
point?
yes.
Oh, on Trade League.
Especially if it got more and more
I mean, it already
competitive
has.
and
Yeah.
obviously there's no actual money prices, but they would be bigger and bigger over time through Twitch. And then
I mean, I don't know if that's. I mean, I guess in the spirit of everything being pure and everything like everyone's like contributing their part. I don't know if I would call it unhealthy because
okay, but like let's say
the
that
trade league races have always been like an accumulation of people coming together, right? And
yeah.
whoever has the edge, and that's kind of the fun of it as well. It stems back all the way from like D2 with their ladder races as well. I mean, there's something to that.
Right.
If you want to have like a
For
real
sure.
competitive nature where it's like these teams against those teams and
But
you're gonna have a fair fight,
yeah.
then sure, that doesn't work for that.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Like it'll eventually end up being a popularity contest because say that like
Yes.
it gets more and more popular and say like the people who are winning ends up getting like 10k viewers on Twitch, right? That obviously translates into a lot of money. Then at some point
Yeah.
it stops mattering if you're doing it legit. You're gonna be like, okay, man with Hack Campbell, XLR, you guys go farm us Chaos Orbs. And if it starts becoming like that and people start being more cutthroat, like, okay, we don't have a no handouts rule. somebody giving you your entire team like tabulas within like 10 minutes of a league start, like stuff like that. That would just be like, I think that just is a non-fun way that it would turn into eventually.
I mean, we've had that before, though.
Yeah,
right? I mean,
and
we've
I
had
hate
it
it.
where people would just like dump their entire like a group would dump off their entire map tab to the winning group that they liked, right? And they
Yeah.
would pretty much secure the win that way. I mean,
Yeah.
that's happened plenty of times
And I hate
before.
that. I'm so against that. And then it turns more into
Yeah.
popularity contest.
I mean, it
And
does. It does. It always has been.
Whereas
like,
on Griffon, you don't have this problem,
Mhm.
which is why I wanted. And it was so fun. It's just, I think it's the perfect. And people joke a lot about PoE not being a good esport, but just seeing how far, or sorry, how close everyone is at hitting things, even with the different RNGs and even different ascendancies, it's just so fun in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because it like all
I mean,
balances
I
out.
think esport is such a weird term in
Right.
every regard. Also because it just has that stigma, like throughout games in general. Like the moment you start attributing sport to it, right? Then it has to be equivalent to whatever we're used to without like outside the online realm and like computers. And it's like it's just different. It's just different. I don't know what else we should call it, but I think it's just because it
Competitive
carries the
PoE.
stigma, you know. And now it's like now we're taking it a step further where you go into PoE, which is completely different from the regular PvP content, whatever it be Counter-Strike or Quake or whatever, right? So
But I mean that's the thing.
competitiveness is there.
Yeah.
Right? It's the same amount of competitiveness.
Yeah, that's
that
the
you
thing,
see
right?
in-
It's very competitive, and obviously people enjoy watching it.
Yeah.
Like and I'd say obviously like StarCraft is one of the most like scientifically accurate esports where it's just 100% skill. There's like no RNG.
No. I don't fully agree with that. Because there's a lot of cheese. And there
That's
is a
not
lot
RNG
of
though.
Oh, yes it is.
Really?
Yeah.
Why? Explain.
Oh, it's to a point.
Why is that RNG? Please explain.
Okay. Well, it's
Why is
right,
that
so-
any random factor?
because someone will like you'll have sometimes you will at the start of the round you will rock paper scissors against each other, right?
No, but that's decisions. That's not RNG.
is,
That's not something
it's
like a
like-
Hearthstone where you get a different card.
No, but sometimes you can't. It's a gamble. It's a tactic. It's a gamble, and it's like you'll have people do it against each other.
No.
Yes, it is. It's not like it's RNG.
But sure, people
And then
always
you'll
send
have-
drones
you'll
and
have-
scouting
you'll
for
have-
that
you'll
to
have
see
s-
what strat they're doing.
Yes, but there's the you have to like respond before you can even know. You know?
No, I know. I'm so disagreeing with you
No,
here.
but-
I just don't agree at all.
You cannot if you cannot respond to something before it's thrown at you and you lose by default. You can't, right?
But that's what
you
scouting is
won't
for.
go-
That's why you scout properly.
But you can't scout it, right?
You
The
do
thing is,
though.
like, no, but things. Okay, there are like timings that can't really be. You can sort of prepare for it, but you can't. I mean, there is skill to it as well, but it's.
That's how I feel.
I know what. I know what you're. I know what you're getting at, and it's just there are just things that are like where things are thrown a little bit here and there, and then there's also the whole Zerg versus Terran versus Protoss, right? Where some come out stronger, and then there's what is the opponents that you're going against? Are you someone that goes really well against? I don't know, like Terran, and then you keep facing Zergs, right? Like there's also that, right? The balance of the whole game, which is not perfect. The only time you'll have perfect balance and perfect like measurement of skill is when everyone like when two people are doing like the exact same thing, you know?
I was like just very disagreement here, but we can agree to disagree. I would just say like both
It's just,
Counter Strike
I
and
don't like
StarCraft
the
is like more
idea
like
that
pure skill
Counter-Strike
games.
is like the epitome of showing skill.
Okay, I don't think we're gonna agree on this, so we can move on. I think this is definitely something we're gonna disagree on.
Sure, I mean we could do that. I'm just saying there are like people cheese their ways to victory. It's happened before.
Okay.
That doesn't. So someone who cheats himself to victory, right? Coming out of nowhere, who gets a victory in StarCraft. Are you telling me that's the objective? Like that? So if he gets a win in a tournament, are you then objectively the better player than the other because you cheat
Yes.
your way through it?
What is cheese? What's such a weird way to say it's a tactic? It's skill. It's a good choice. It's a good like that's a decision the player's making. Like, oh, I'm gonna gamble or like do this tactic and see if it pays off for me. That's skill. That's a good decision.
I mean,
So yes, objectively, yes, the better player.
I don't know. It's like
Strategy is not skill. Yes, it is. Anyway.
Strategy is skill. Oh no, don't get me wrong. Strategy is skill.
Okay.
I mean,
and speaking of tactics, to finalize the flashback discussion, we could talk a little bit about specific tactics used. That's a nice segue into that, and then finishing up and moving on to the end of the league topic. Because we saw a lot of different tactics in the flashback. Steel went for really early multi-mod, which I actually thought it would take too long. And Steel was like, no, Ziz, you should go for multi-mod. And I did end up going for it. Did you go for multi-mod?
Yes. It's totally worth it.
And you used Delve as well, right?
Yes. But I barely kicked in. I did get it late. I did get it late. I got it at like 97 or something. My problem was I didn't find any exalts.
Yeah.
I didn't have a good strategy. I think you need to have a good strategy around the coin usage.
Right. Yes. I agree. It's very interesting to see that rank 1, 2, 4, 5, and 7 are all not delving. Oh, and 9. They were all barely or not at all delving. And then other than that, pretty much everybody in top 50 that I can see, like majority are delving. I delved personally for a couple of different reasons. I wanted denses for my future characters. I wanted, because obviously this wasn't a just let's go win. This is also like a let's win and also try to like build up for the future. There's a lot of alternative league drops that drops from the tests. Obviously a chance at a headhunter as well. And you have the opulence boxes dropping both divines, exalts, and annulments. So they were like my decisions behind going delve, and obviously the recipes and stuff. And map sustain and just free XP. And like the final thing for the reason I did delve is sometimes there would be an hour where neither Wharf, Moon Temple, Canyon, Toxic, where none of them have Beyond, and maybe my memory thing was out, then I would do delving. I would go like 20-30 minutes of delving and then maybe roll maps for the last 20 minutes. Because I didn't really enjoy mapping without Beyond up. So that's sort of what I would always keep my delve sulfite for. So I had 17,000, I think, at max.
I'm totally sidetracked from that other conversation. God damn it. Okay, can I just say one thing? Okay. Right, because a few people are like talking about rock, paper, scissors. I mean, on average, like whenever you see StarCraft players, yes, you see the same people on the top. You do the same thing in PoE, right? It's always the same people. Obviously, PoE actually has real RNG. There's no denying that. What I'm saying is that if sometimes you will have like a rock, paper, scissors situation, and someone will come out on top because in this case, like these could be equally skilled, right? And they both have to make a bet, right? Is that really? If you're both making a bet on what the other guy is doing, if you're of equal skill, sometimes you just make the right bet.
And like Neva said, though, that's why it's best of 3, best of 5, best of 7.
Sure. But I mean, in reality, you would have to make it best of more. I mean, if you're going to like an elimination stage, sometimes you just get eliminated because you lost the luck of the draw or whatever, right? That just happens. It just happens. I completely agree that the people at the top are in general like the same people, and people figure out ways to certainly counter these cheating strats. But sometimes someone comes along and found like a new little thing and then just throws it off the curve, you know, and it's like, okay,
But that's not RNG.
On a best of 11, he always wins, but because it's like this guy throws a wrench in the thing, he's not objectively a better player. It's just that he just had like some guy just came out,
It
right?
is though. If you're like, say the
It's
meta
not
has
RNG,
settled. No, let me
but it's
finish here.
just
Let me say that the meta's like settled, right? In any game, and somebody comes out of nowhere with this like crazy trump card. That's just like, wow, that was so smart. We were not ready for that. That's not RNG. That's just being really fucking smart.
I mean, sometimes people just gamble, you know, and sometimes gambling wins.
But it's okay. I just disagree that that's RNG.
Is that
in
is
an
that not
esport.
true?
I disagree that that's RNG though. That's just making a choice.
Sure.
Usually uneducated.
Well, yeah. I mean, for the most part. Okay, let's just leave this one.
Okay, good. We can move on to our final time. Nugi said RNG, but didn't mean RNG.
I mean, it's just when it's like there's the like StarCraft. The only thing I objected to was that StarCraft is like the epitome of skill and the epitome of these guys always win. Where there are so many other games where it's like the same thing. I dislike this, like StarCraft just has this edge. It's the same thing with like, oh, chess players are so smart. I mean, they learn patterns. I mean, there are some savants out there, right? You'll have like a Magnus Carlsen who just has this like weird thing, you know, like where he's just like, where you can say, okay, this guy is actually like just he can like think 5 steps ahead, and I don't know. It's like,
But can you, okay, just before we end this, can you think of any esports that are better than Counter-Strike or StarCraft on just like a technical level? The fact that you have to think so long sort of means no.
On a technical level, but I mean, there are so many other. There's so
like
many games.
There are other
just
games
on
that
an
are more
equal level.
entertaining. That might be more entertaining as esports.
I mean, it's like there's so many games out there. I mean, I don't know. You'll have, I don't know. You could probably name it. I don't know. So many. Like, I don't know. It could be FIFA. I don't know. I haven't played FIFA.
I like you less now.
Huge skill. You could do.
Out of all the examples you could bring up.
I'm serious. Why not? How do you know? It's just because we know StarCraft, and it's like it has this allure to it.
Okay, I think we're done with this topic. I think we need to move on.
Fuck. I mean, there's all the shooter games. There's StarCraft. There's like, I don't know, everything versus player. I mean,
dude, I want to have a StarCraft match versus you now.
Like, there are build orders and such in in StarCraft. It's like there's a lot of strategy. I mean, there different types of skill. I get so annoyed when it's like, oh, this thing is just strictly better. It's the same thing when people were talking about Quake and StarCraft. Right, or not Quake and StarCraft, Counter-Strike and Quake. I was like, you'd have people on both sides like, this is the superior thing. I don't care.
We should do a
I get
StarCraft
triggered
match.
when people put things as like the
absolutes.
Right, this is the yes. I can't take it.
I can tell. I'm a Sith. I deal in absolutes.
I cannot. It's just.
Well, we're very different there. That's why I was like very excited to start doing a podcast with you.
Yeah, I mean,
Rush, yes.
For those who might not like in StarCraft, I mean, I watch a lot of StarCraft. I really do. It's one of my favorite pastimes. It's just to watch StarCraft, and it's usually the best player. Like the best players are insane, right? And it's usually the same people who go all the way. I get that. It's just that you will have upsets every now and then, and that doesn't mean that they're like the best players. It's just that sometimes people come in and they throw a wrench in things for whatever reason. Things happen. So it's
like
not always the best approximation of the best skill.
We're going in circles. Let's move on.
I know.
Okay, so our second topic is about the end of the league. Now, obviously, PoE has like the leagues have a bit of a shelf life, especially on hardcore and like just like or even if you're playing SSF. Third month, as soon as like there's more news out and there's no flashback, you start getting pretty bored. You're like, you know what? I've sort of gotten what I want out of the league. And you're thinking like, what do I want to do now? And a lot of people deal with that in different ways. Some people play other games. Some people change leagues or like do like challenges on PoE. Like obviously there's private leagues now where you can play like these crazy rippy leagues. So what do you do when you're sort of like done?
Ooh, I always go for 40-40. Then I realize that I hate it, and I go for 36 sometimes, and then I move on to a different game.
Mm-hmm. And do you have any like standard games that you jump to? Because we've both been playing
Honestly,
Last Epoch.
Yes. I mean, I like other ARPGs. I like Grim Dawn. I like, what's it called? Meet in Excel. Last Epoch right now. So the other ARPGs is something I often go to. I play some Dota. Played Apex. I mean, I don't really have a preference. I play all games. I play strategy, FPS. I play RPGs. You name it.
Phone games?
I kind of hate card games. I've heard a lot of people saying like Slay the Spire is super good, and I'm sure it is. It's like a roguelike game, you know. But I've been stigmatized by Hearthstone. I cannot take card games anymore.
I mean, I feel like card games were just invented to make money and no other reason.
Yes.
It's just like, hey, I can make more money out of video games.
Yeah.
I don't like card games that much. I used to play a lot of Magic when I was young, and I just ended up spending so much money. Well, actually, yeah, it's just crazy. But yeah, no, like I've seen you, and I've played so many other games with you. Like we've played Apex together, we've played Dota, we both play Epoch. I'm really excited about Epoch. Like just the way their devs approach everything, they jump around different streams, and they actually keep in touch when there's nothing happening. They're just very, very definitely a PoE feel to it. Obviously, like that's getting harder and harder to do for PoE the bigger they get.
I mean, it feels it's a throwback to how PoE started, I would say.
Yes, definitely. It's a very nice company.
I do know that they've talked. I mean, they've communicated the two companies, right? So I know that they've had talks with Chris about how to set yourself up at the start of like developing a game. So I'm sure they've gotten like pointers. That way.
No, it's so fun. Like I love they're talking about having some sort of boss gauntlet in, which I think China has actually for PoE, which I really want to play. Yeah, China has some like end of the league event where you just do like boss after boss and you go harder and harder until you die. Yeah. It'd be so fun, dude.
Man, we have had suggestions for that for PoE for like years back, and then they have it in China. Oh my god!
I know. Yeah, and they have really fun things, and obviously like Garena. They're like really mild with the stuff they give us on the Western Realm. Like I remember, do you remember the Garena event? That was so fun.
I never attended that one.
Oh, it was so fun. So for those of you who didn't play the Garena event, this was like the Russian PoE, and I made a Russian account. Everything was in Russian. Had to like learn like how to fucking read items and stuff. It was pretty annoying. But it was so fun. It was basically very similar to Flashback and Mayhem, but everything was like, you know, if you were in a Nemesis zone, Headhunter could drop. And it was something like the drop rates were like crazy high. It was 100 extra quant or 200 extra quant, and that multiplied with map quant. So it was raining items. And it was really enjoyable. I had so much fun. Uniques were raining as well. And this was like, I don't know. Yeah, 150 quant. Crazy good. Crazy good. So I would definitely want more of that from PoE. Like I feel like the events they give us is very mild.
Yeah, they are. They are. I would love to have like something to build towards. I really would like them to do something on the realm that we're currently on, right? Rather than setting up a new league, I'd rather have it so that we had an end game event in PoE.
Yeah, like an apocalypse.
Where you could utilize your current character in the league as the end game event.
Yeah.
Because then you wouldn't have to re-level. You could set up different characters. You would never really know what they would throw at you at the end, but they would then come up with something fun, right? And then you could partake in that.
Yeah.
I think that would be really cool.
A game I played called Darkfall Online. This is something they only did when the servers were shutting down, but they did like an apocalypse. So they started spawning world bosses everywhere. The world was ending. It was so fun. Definitely a cool experience. Everybody was playing. And I always wanted something like that for the last week or like 2 weeks before, a week before the servers go down. So, like kind of bring everybody back, get everyone hyped for the new league. Like, you have the teasers out, you bring everyone back on their old existing characters and just crazy, crazy bosses or something. Just have like 20 Azeris per map or something. I don't care what you do. Just do something that's like memorable and special and weird. It's the end of the league. Like, I don't know. I hate the fact that standard feels like it's getting in the way of real fun. Like, it shouldn't matter. I don't even care. Make it
Yeah, it
drop
shouldn't
no
matter.
loot. Just, like, have fun. Make it crazy
Yes.
rippy. I don't care. Like, nobody cares about losing their character for the most part the last week of a league.
No, not really.
Yeah, like 10 abaxos per meter or something in a map. You'd go in and you'd die. You're like, what the fuck?
I mean, I feel like there are ways. Okay, so I think that there are ways, since people don't care about if you die anyways, right? At the end of the league, if you give rewards not really based on, you can give rewards not based on purely items. You can make it so that it doesn't like shower you with things that will then go and interrupt the standard economy or whatever reason it is that we can have fun. I mean, you could have it like be a lot of a backshot or like a gauntlet or something. It'll place you on a leaderboard. Maybe you can have a permanent placement at the end of the league event, right? Where people will just throw themselves at. It's not about it's. You'll just create another thing that you can obtain. It's the same thing with demis and ladders and leaderboards. It doesn't generate a bunch of exalts. It doesn't generate all the gear.
How about
It's just trophies.
with 1 or 2 weeks left of the league, a descent opens up. It doesn't drop any loot or something. You just get to use your existing character with exactly what you have, and you have one shot. And you can go as deep as you can into a leaderboard with a descent. So it goes 83, 84, 85, 86. Suddenly you're at item level 100 maps. And it's just whatever. You're not even leveling up. It's just the character that you have at the end of the league. And like that would be so cool.
Yeah. Why not?
Level per level. And just like mapping stuff, not delve. Delve's like, meh. For that. It's just like exactly the way
Delve still
Descent
requires you
is.
to get, or you still have to like delve. It's like a procedural process over the entirety of the league where you have to like get all the sulfite every day and you like kind of like dig your way deeper and deeper and deeper.
I just want something special.
It's not, yeah. That's its own thing. I don't see that as being the same thing.
Yeah.
And there's nothing special about that either, as you say, right? It's the same thing. There's no like cute boss in there. There's no like you'll go to a zone and it's like only exiles. Right? It's just full of exiles. See, that every monster is played with exiles, and it's like, oh shit, fuck.
Yeah. That'd be fun. I'd like that. Yeah. There's so many things they can do, and I'm really excited for next league. Do you have any speculations?
I feel like melee is gonna change a lot. Beyond that, I don't know.
What about name speculations? Obviously, a lot of people have been guessing Legion. A lot of people have been guessing Carnage. I was guessing Carnage until I saw the picture that Bex teased.
I think it's gonna be called Amnesia.
Amnesia.
It's the league where we forget about synthesis. It's gonna be great.
Nice, I like that. That's a good one. Oh my god. So I actually am more on Team Legion right now. I was Team Carnage for a while, but then Amnesia is good. That was a good one. Shade Throne. So I actually am hoping for. It looked like, yeah. I mean, there was just like a huge. Somebody like used brightness, increased the brightness because the picture Bex posted. And I'm starting to think Bex was working for like whoever did the lighting on Game of Thrones because it was just so dark. And somebody enhanced it a lot, and it just like it's a ton of dudes with shields. So Legion could, make sense.
All right, that okay, I remember. Yeah, I remember seeing that one. Legion? Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder what that would be like. What kind of like league that would Legion?
Maybe it's
how would that manifest itself?
Maybe it's related to Beyond. Like Legion, Beyond. Sounds like they could be related. Because that sounds like a demonic legion kind of thing.
I mean, what was the counterpart to Beyond? That was Harbinger,
What do you
right?
mean? What?
Harbinger was the opposite of Beyond, wasn't it? Or was it something else? Or was that
Oh,
the
do you mean
opposite
like
of?
Harbinger was really fucking shit and Beyond was really fucking fun? Yeah, I agree on that.
No, no, no. Oh no, was Harbinger the opposite to Breach? Have you had an opposite to Beyond yet?
What do you mean?
No, they're like thematically linked.
Oh, no, we haven't. We haven't had any linked leagues yet.
Oh, I don't know. I need to like read up on this. I don't remember how it
So
goes.
obviously
But
they
like
can
these are like linked together, like where you have the different realms, right? And they're like at arms with each other or something.
Yeah, we haven't had that yet, I think. I don't think so.
I don't
Oh,
know.
wait. Abyss and Delve are linked.
Are they?
I think so. Well, Nico
Maybe.
keeps talking about Abyss.
Hmm. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean that makes sense, right? You're digging down, right? And yeah, I can see that. Okay.
Yeah, and there's liches down there. I mean, there's hard. Delve has everything. Delve is such a good league now that it's in the game. I hated it as a league.
Really?
But I think what they tried to... Yeah, I hated the first... Like...
No, what you hated, right? Okay. What you hated was the farming of the fossils, right? I guess
not just that.
the obtaining the what's it called?
I hated most of
Sulfite.
it. The sulfite rates, the walls, the blue azurite stones were garbage. The rewards were completely fucking skewed. There was so much garbage. It was so buggy. The flare radius, dude. There was so much I hated. I feel like everyone is so completely glass-eyed and rose tinted glasses about Delve. It was way worse than the first 2 weeks of Synthesis. It
not in a
was so
million
garbage.
years.
The first 2 weeks of Delve were
No.
awful. Bestiary,
No,
Delve,
no.
Harbinger, and Synthesis were all
No.
garbage in the start.
You're like so off on this. What the fuck?
It was
Dude,
so
Synthesis
garbage.
early on was garbage.
Yeah, it was.
Oh
So was
my
Delve.
god. Adele was like fine.
It was so bad.
It had a lot of I think it inherited a lot of like flaws of PoE with like the what was it called? The way you had to obtain your resources for it
Right.
that they had to fix. I think that was like an overall PoE problem with like you would always
And-
just farm the side zone.
They had the rigged seeds as well, literally. And like, this is really funny because
They had the what?
rigged seeds. Okay, so
Oh yeah, wow, that was stupid. Right,
yeah,
that was
so
just something that should've
basically,
never
for those
been.
of you who don't know what happened, like some people were getting loads of prime resonators, and some people weren't getting any. And I had
Yeah,
4
yeah.
characters that got 0, and then on my 5th character, I got 8 or 9 in an hour. And Neva as well was like, "No, this is your tinfoiling. There's no way this is real." And I was like, just out of curiosity, I messaged Chris, and I was like, "Chris, I know this sounds a bit weird, but I had 4 characters now, played like 200-300 hours or something. Like I was a couple of 100 hours at least, because it was fairly early league. And I found no prime resonators. I now made a new character, and it got like 8 or 9 prime resonators in an hour. Like, there's no way this isn't like, there's just no way. And the day after, there's patch notes saying like, fix the bug where some players weren't able to get primatic resonators. And obviously Slippery Jim had farmed something like 130 or something stupid. So he was just fucking cashing in money, and he was making hundreds of exalts, obviously. So it was...
I think that's because you're so driven by the economy,
Oh yeah.
and I'm not, right?
Yes.
So I mean, I care less about that stuff. It doesn't
Right.
really faze me.
No.
Okay,
that's-
okay, I didn't get lucky. I didn't get the big drops. Okay, so what? Big deal.
Yes.
I mean, for those people who really care about that, that is like a deal breaker
Yeah.
for sure. I can see that.
And that's why the first 2 weeks of Delve to me were so fucked. I definitely
'Cause
understand it.
You get screwed over.
Yeah,
for
and
sure.
a lot of people disagree with me, and I get that, but we probably just want different things out of the game, and that's why
I think
Synthesis
so too.
is one of my favorite leagues, because I'm sitting here
Yeah.
fucking loving the crafting. I'm like, this crafting system,
Exactly.
I figured it out. I think it's fantastic. It's fucking horrible for players that don't know how to use it. And the rewards, especially in the start, now it's actually pretty okay, but the rewards for like if somebody doesn't want to interact with the crafting, it just wasn't a rewarding league because they'd focused so much on the fractured items being the rewarding part. So it was just like, oh, you're not using the fractured forehead. So I definitely understand all the hate Synthesis is getting.
I mean, I think when you look at both Delve and Synthesis, it's like whatever in-game mechanic introduced, if you like that, you will have liked the League. And I think for a lot of people, the thing that Delve introduced was something that a lot of people were looking for, right? Ladder, the pushing down, and all that. Like something to kind of offset mapping in the way you play the game, and I think that's kind of what people were drawn to. Sure, it had a lot of faults. I mean, you made that clear. I think we can say the same thing about Synthesis.
Oh, yeah. But I think this is a scary trend that nearly every league has been shit the first 2 weeks. It's very scary. I don't like it. I feel like if they could somehow, obviously it's hard, but I feel like if they could somehow just like nail it, right? Like the first, I can't remember Incursion being shit at the start. I actually remember Incursion not having that many bugs.
Incursion was actually good at the start, because I remember it just working well.
Yeah.
It was good. It was just good.
Ferrandis was hilarious.
Oh my god.
That was so funny. And that wasn't even like a balancing issue or a content issue. That was just the fucking servers were not ready for Ferrandis. That was forehead. Like, oh, you got 2 boxes at the same time. Oh, you crashed. I think.
And I decided to play Blade Vortex because it was just released. 50 stack Blade Vortex, for those who don't know. It stacked to 50 back then. I was like, and you jilt charge into a pack. You hit 50 monsters like 20 times a second. Yeah, everything stops. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Ah,
but I'm hoping for next league. At least like the servers have been really good at league starts. They can have that.
Yeah. I mean, they've had good they've been really good with preparing themselves server wise for a long time.
They're really bad at flashback. That was worrying. At the end of the league, they sell off too many servers. I don't know what they're doing. That is garbage servers. Prime time at the moment is unplayable. I was timing my sleeps. Like, oh, it's 7 or 8 p.m. Better go have a nap.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't really had any issues.
Like between like 7 p.m. and midnight. I
play prime time every day. I haven't had any issues.
I couldn't play during those at all.
Oh.
It was
thank you for getting off the services.
Yeah, no
Appreciate
problem.
it.
No problem. And like, yeah, I don't know. It was for me. It was on like every server, like London. I can't play Amsterdam or Frankfurt at all. Those, or is it? Yeah, I think it's Frankfurt and Amsterdam and Paris. They're like garbage for me. London's great. London's great for me. Moscow's great. Milan is great.
Yeah, I sit on London. Oh no, I sit on Frankfurt. Nobody. I don't know where I sit.
Yeah, don't say it. Don't say it out loud. And it's not even like a ping issue. It's just really unstable for me. Like it'll just go like up and down, up and down. It's horrible.
Really?
So and I keep DCing to the point where if somebody has like, oh, I have a shaper up, even in like mid league on my super tanky character, they're like, I have a shaper up, and I'm like, what realm? If they say Amsterdam or Frankfurt, I'm like, nah, it's not worth dying to a DC. So it's that bad for me. So that's no fun. But
that's unfortunate.
I mean, at least league starts have been really good.
They've been good. Yeah, they really have.
How do you prepare for a new league? Like, what do you do before a new league comes out? So obviously
before that, like, I want to touch on something you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, let's do that.
Because you said that the rewards have gotten really good, and this is a sentiment I've seen mentioned many times. Ziz as well was like, "Oh, have you not played Synthesis lately? The rewards are so good. The mechanic, and it's like, people end up conflating the rewards are so good with now this is a good league mechanic, and it just, I'm like, I'm miffed. I don't know. It's all we need for a league to just. It just needs to get 8 times more things than everything else. Is that how you make it good?
No.
I don't know. Because that's a lot of the time. It's like, oh, it gives really I'm loving getting so much stuff out of it now when I'm running it. I'm like, so if that's what you like, that's not a good precedent to set if that's how we make it fun.
But that is what a lot of people like.
I know.
And I agree, that's not necessarily
negates every other piece of content.
Yeah, but for 80% of players, yes, that is what people want. And I think a problem, and this is something every league, right? When they're sitting there balancing how much a league should reward, right? They're like divvying it up, like it's this rewarding for in-game players, this rewarding for casual players, this rewarding for people who don't know what they're doing, right? Like take breach as an example. You open a
Yeah.
breach, and that breach, like not so much anymore because it's been nerfed like 11 times or something.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
when
yeah.
breach first came out, that single breach would give 2 or 3 times the amount of items that the entire map would give. You held ult down, there was just a fucking, like it was just raining items. There were so many items. And at the start it was dropping maps, right? Like if you were one
Yeah,
of
I
the
remember
racers,
that.
you had a map
Oh
pool.
yeah, yeah. No,
You had a map pool for the race
the
of the league.
biggest map pool ever. It was crazy.
And yeah, so
It was a strand meta as well. I remember like going through like I remember like getting 3 good breaches and having like eight strands out of that one map just from the breach. I'm like, okay, what's going on?
Yeah.
This is crazy.
So that was definitely, and that's part of the reason why so many people love Breach. For a lot of players, that is a good league. Is it more rewarding than the last league, right? That's not necessarily what makes a good league mechanic, but for a lot of players, it is. Not necessarily you, not necessarily me, but yes, for a lot of players, that is a good league. And the way I feel that GGD initially balanced this league is they were looking at the in-game items. They were looking at the implicit Valor Regalias, the implicit Titanium Shield, and they were like, well, these things are
like
so
the
damn,
thing.
so damn impressive and rewarding that we simply can't just like be raining chaos out. We can't be raining map drops out because these things are so valuable. But a lot of the player population, first of all, essences were bugged. Fossils were bugged and didn't work on fractured fossils.
Yeah,
which is
sure.
a huge mistake to have released. Like, because now onslaught boots are fairly easy to make. Like, that's like, sure, they're not like, you know, they're not like a 10C item,
they're easy to
but
make
they're
if you
less.
have the supply, right? You need to supply the boost though.
But no, because you can use
just
3 deafenings, which is you have a decent chance. I made like 3 or something.
So you're saying that what you would do is you just pick up anything that has like 1 affix,
Well,
right?
no. You get three boots with 3 stats. 3 fractured. Then you have three fractured boots.
Okay.
And then you slap 3 deafening essences on them, and then you're fairly likely to get onslaught.
Because it just needs to hit one of the open slots.
Yeah. Like I made several, so that's been really nice.
See.
But that was fucked in the start.
Yeah, I'm just trying. I'm sure a lot of people would love to hear how you do it.
Yeah.
So you're saying that with having more, like if you just, so you lock in 1 stat, like outside of the, is that what you do?
So best case scenario, right? You would get boots that have, you know, like life, the same resist, and then another suffix, like all having strength or something, right? That's like the best case scenario. So you only have those 3. And then you slap 3 deafening of seals. So then you have 32 movement speed. Then you have like a massive chance for onslaught. You're most likely not going to get that.
Because it just needs to hit, like, it's like there are like 4 different, so what you end up with is 4 different mods.
Yeah.
Right? That it can hit.
Yeah.
And you have 3 chances, so it's like a 75% chance.
Yeah, and it can hit the movement speed twice, because you can get 8% movement speed and you can get onslaught. So I have boots. I have boots with 8% movement speed, onslaught, and like life.
Okay, that's cool. So you just open more slots for yourself, and then it has that's cool.
So and the problem is, right? I was struggling with this shit when it first came out. Like, and I was asking Emma, I was asking Dan, and like the first few days, everyone was a little bit like, I don't know, I'm just picking everything up. We'll figure it out later. But when the players that are like into this shit are even having a hard time with it, then it's gonna be fucked for an average player. Because the players who are this dedicated and playing like 17,000 hours or whatever, like I have 17,000 hours. If I'm struggling or being confused by anything in the game, you are fucked as a new player.
Yes.
Because this should all, first of all, like the fact that they're like actively making players alt tab is really bad. This should have been, you put 3 items in and it should have seen, these are the brackets you're hitting. You have a chance, you have a chance for this, you have a chance for this. It doesn't have to give you the exact things, but give some indication of how it works to the player in-game. Because a lot of people who play the game, so many people aren't going to watch this. So many people don't watch Twitch. They don't watch Reddit. They're just playing on their own. How are these people going to figure it out? They have no chance.
Yeah. No, I agree.
So that, like, to begin with, is fucked. and the entire decay mechanic is fucked. I feel decay was okay.
See, that's the one thing I
In the
like.
map memories.
To a point, right?
No.
Yeah. So
I just
in the,
I it's
you don't like decay at all?
I think it would be possibly fun for an event, like a race event or something. Having some sort of like I would love decay being used in an elimination event. Like an actual like open race where the last 1%, like a decay is just creeping up in you based on how fast the fastest players
Yeah.
are. I would love like a, like elimination event where always the last people are being killed until only one player is left. That's the winner of that event. Decay is a really cool way to do that. It would be fun like watching players just get eaten by decay. It's like, no, and then you die. I don't like decay in the actual Nexus. I think obviously like I've actually felt like this before my death yesterday as well. But in the map memories, it was okay.
Yeah. Yes.
But once you're in the actual Nexus, I think decay should not be part of it. It's I don't know. I don't like
decay.
it.
I like what it does for the map, like for the playing experience. I hate what it does for the Nexus. I hate the positions you're put in and how like off-putting it is when the mechanic just kind of screws you over once and you're in the middle of nowhere and you don't have the right piece and you don't have any tools of recovering from it. I think when that happens, it's the worst feeling ever. I really love playing around with it and I love going through the zones, thinking like, okay, I know this is the case zone. I need to like move here and here. And whenever the mechanic works well, it's one of the most fun things in terms of playing that I've had for quite a while in PoE.
So some of the problems I have with it is that it forces players to play a certain way. There are still players out there who don't necessarily they don't want to like play like that, right? You are forcing people into a speed meta. You are early on, especially.
I mean,
it was
every league
completely
will force
fucked.
players into a specific thing,
Why?
regardless of.
That's not true. Like with incursion, there was like incursion as well. It's like at least that was slow enough that even on a slow build, you can do okay. If you have enough damage and you're like one-shotting the packs, then it doesn't matter if you're like clearing the entire thing in 8 seconds. In Delve, right, you don't need a speed build to do Delve. If you're like a slow player and you have a slow build, you're still going to be able to enjoy Delve.
Yes, and the reason is because the mechanic adapts to your speed.
Yeah.
So maybe there's a way to make the mechanic. If they could then make synthesis adapt to the player's speed, that could be, a way to improve some things. Because the reason why a slow build works in Delve is just because the card cannot run away from you if you have low movement speed. That's actually the only it's because it's a good mechanic that they've figured out well. So yeah, sure, okay.
Synthesis is the opposite of that.
I see your point. I mean, I've played mainly Queen of the Forest here, so I mean, I might be a little bit biased because I have an easy time moving around where other players might have a hard time. So I mean, it's hard for me to understand how it feels when you're really slow. I haven't really been that yet.
I was playing a Righteous Fire Juggernaut, and I am a really fucking fast player. I am one of the racers. And even though I'm a fast player on a slow build with shield charge, I was not having a good time. Okay. I was forced to play with Flame Dash. Shield charge was just fucking useless in Nexus. And I was sitting there just going like, fucking hell, dude. If I was a new player, I would be quitting the game right now. And especially when like I was mid shield charge and the Nexus thing or decay would open up under me, I was like, great. I guess I'm back into the start then. Fan-fucking-tastic. Or like sometimes where, it took me a while to get there, and by the time I get there, the entire entrance is decayed, because that's where decay had started. So unless I was playing like a 300 MS build, I had no chance of getting there in time.
Oh, no, I've had that happen.
And I was like, why the fuck is it starting there?
And you just see it coming in.
Like, make it start behind me or some shit. Not where I'm going.
Thing, right? So the mechanic, so you're saying that the mechanic is not that great? Like, do you like it when it works well?
No, I don't.
Not at all?
It's not even... I actually sort of enjoyed for me personally as a player. But I think it's a garbage mechanic because it forces players to play a certain way. And I think what I like about PoE is there is no certain way you have to play. If you want to play a slow build, there should be reasons and good things to do that. Whereas in a
Okay.
lot of the other league mechanics, you can.
Yes. So, does that mean that every single mechanic they will ever introduce, you think should be playable by everything, regardless of how slow or how fast you move? Because that kind of puts PoE in like a, I don't know. I mean, then you have this whole like tangent of things that you can do in terms of
But isn't it
speed
so far?
that will just not be useful.
What other mechanics are you forced to do speed meta?
I don't know. Breach was some like, okay, breach in the beginning if you didn't have enough damage. Incursion. Yeah, incursion.
Incursion was more of a damage check. Not you could be slow. It was a very small room. You just had to have damage. That was not speed meta necessarily.
Yeah. I mean, but it's just another metric at which you can assess a character in PoE. It does have a timer as well. I mean, sometimes you're too. I mean, okay, let's say things that sometimes happen, especially if you're not have the greatest build. You will need to you will open the door on the opposite side of the room, but the thing drops at the bottom, right? And you have to go up to the right, and it drops bottom left, and you're out of time. If you have a slow build, the difference, but like it takes maybe like, I don't know, 5 seconds on the fast build, 10 seconds on the slow build. That's a lot of time lost when you only have 15 seconds or whatever.
You have pretty long time as long as you have decent damage. I'd say that's more of a DPS check, which I think is an okay gating of things in an RPG, but because everybody's gonna want damage, right? That's more of a like nobody's gonna go like, oh, I want to go light on damage, right? That's not generally a thing.
I mean, I just think I just don't mind there being different metrics. Sometimes defense is
but not as a core league mechanic, not as a core. Like this was the main mechanic of the league. That's the main problem I have with it. Like Obas is a speed thing, but that's one map.
The only way they ever introduce new things is with leagues, though. So that means we can never introduce something.
No, but look at Obas.
It's like.
And yeah, like Delve Darkness farming, you can do that fast. You can speed farm lab if you want to.
It's just we end up in a very static environment where everything ends up being like kind of the same, where everything there's no like.
But there can be advantages.
Like sometimes the advantage of I like the fact that an advantage could be speed, or an advantage could be damage, or advantage could be health.
But
right, different places.
But it shouldn't be forced.
I understand with the league mechanic that it's important that everyone can kind of participate. I get that. It's just, I fear that with this kind of like, this is why it's a bad league, so we cannot have a league like that again. Just, we end up in a kind of a boring game where everything it's just another rehash of the one thing we liked and another, like a way we...
Right. No, for sure. I agree. And I think it's very important that they try out things like synthesis. I think it's a very exciting thing. Very, very exciting thing. But... And I did like it, for me personally. I just think is like, especially the decay. Like, and this is something I don't want them to ditch it completely. Just like so many people hate it, but I think it has so much potential. I feel if you remove decay, you can keep decay in the map ones, right? Because for the majority of things, most people are still gonna be okay on the majority of it. But it fucks you. I mean,
you could even make the argument, right, that they're unstable outside, right, and then we bring them in and we kind of stabilize them in the nexus.
Exactly. Because something, and this isn't really for me either, because for me this isn't mainly a problem in the way I play. It's more for like I've had so many people messaging me and being like, this is so shit and this is why I hate it. This is just me more trying to argue for other people. And I think the biggest shit feeling, and you don't want to make your players feel bad. And the way synthesis really makes you feel bad is if you're on a really long chain and say you're on your last piece and you're about to get to the memory node, but that's a decay node. It's the last one. You've gotten all the way there. It spent like 10 minutes and it decays and you're all the way back. And just because it decayed and you lost that, you can't get to that memory node now. You're not allowed to do that content. You have to save up a whole new bracket and go all the way back. That feeling, I think it only happened to me once, but I've seen so many people have had it happen. That one feeling of like, especially when it's unfair, if it starts Like, it's not even when you're too slow. It's like when it starts where you're going, right? You're getting towards the thing and you see it's already been eaten up because that's where the decay started. That's such an unfair feeling. And you just feel shit as a player. Because you're like, there's nothing you could have done different. It was just like, it just started there. That was just like, you're fucked over by RNG. And that's just, you should not make your player feel bad about things like that, in my opinion. So that's like sort of the main problem I have.
I mean, so this is where I would love to see them, where player choice kind of kicked in a bit more, where you could decide whether or not you would want a stable or an unstable. Like, it would be cool if you could have stable and unstable ones, right?
Yes.
Where maybe there's a way to make it unstable, high risk, high reward
Yes,
kind of play.
I love that.
You know, where it's like you can have both, but it just requires that they work more on the mechanic.
Yeah.
So you can have like the safe one where you can always works,
It's a great
or you can
idea.
have an unstable memory.
Yeah, maybe Kavas or whatever has a processor or something in his fucking thing. I don't know how you lure it, but just something where you have like 4 different tiers. Like, ooh, I'm on a really speedy build, so I'm farming like tier 4 Nexus things, and they're like super unstable. They fall apart. Like, maybe like what you step on instantly disappears. But then you have like,
Maybe
100% more quant or something. Just, or, anything. I love risk reward, so that's great. But at least like for the main base of the game, I feel it should be accessible to everyone. You shouldn't have to play like I do.
I agree. Yeah.
And I think
I mean,
this
that
is
should be
so
stepping
fun.
stones to different ways of playing the game. That's why I really want them to just that's why I really like the delve mechanic as well, right? Because it allows you to go high speed, low speed, and high speed and low speed have different rewards. Because low speed you can probably delve deeper, or you can delve in a different way. High speed you can do different things, which is why the league was so good.
I agree. I definitely want more risk versus reward in PoE, and I hate whenever like the Act 8, 9, or 10 is like the most rewarding. And when that's more rewarding than 83, so that just destroys me.
Yeah. I think it's important that we have content like that where you can use it as a stepping stone.
Yeah. Oh, I agree.
We had this argument before.
Yeah.
And I think we're pretty much in line here.
Yeah. It just should never be more rewarding than other content.
Sure. Yeah. I would agree with that.
But yeah, no, I want them. I think there's so many things I love about synthesis, and I felt this with several leagues. Like, I think my most hated leagues were Harbinger and Talisman particularly. I always forget about how much I hate. It's like a,
Oh, so bad.
Like, and but like that with a lot of these leagues, there's like such a small rework they can do, and then it's really cool. Like with synthesis,
I miss Tempest still.
I really want synthesis to go core after a rework. I'm really worried that they got so much negative feedback that they're scared of bringing it back, because it has so many cool things. Like the implicit idea is really cool, but I feel like the worst implicits you should be able to get should be something like, 1% life regen. Not like, Grass, you got 13 flat life regen on your gloves.
Yeah.
Right? And it should be way easier. It should be way less complicated. And like,
I think that should be way less.
Should be like thorns shouldn't be in there. Like actually thorns shouldn't be like that. That's such a dead stat. Like, they can be useful in niche ways, but like flat life regen and flat thorns, just they need to be buffed by like a magnitude. Like, it's fine having things that are like, yeah, this isn't the best mod, but it's on there to make the other mods rare. And you don't have a problem with that at all. But they need to be useful in some form, in some build. There needs to be something, and it isn't. Filler stats are fine as long as there's like a niche, like, ooh, look, Nugi's doing a thorn build, but you never hear about that. You've seen people doing thorn builds, and it's like so.
It's the same thing with Betrayal. It was a big problem I felt. The way they structured the actual like drops, you'd never. And I really felt this was a mistake. That you could never find like a nice. It was like literally impossible to find a nice unveiled item, like just on the ground, because it consumed one of the stats.
Right. So
you would often find a 2-stat item with 2 unveiled mods, which is just a crafted mod, which is actually terrible. Yeah. So you end up with a 2-stat item with worse mods. I'm like, this is not fun. So the only thing you end up with is like, it's only for the unlocking the crafts. Yeah, breach rings back in the day were actually good.
Yeah. especially rarity or
Nowadays,
chaos
not
rest.
so much. Yeah. They're really good for breaches when you're just farming that, and actually they still are. Like they're a niche
Yeah.
thing, so they're probably okay. Um, why did we start with this?
We're
Oh,
just
right,
talking
the
about past
synthesis
days, yeah.
items.
Um,
Yeah.
and I feel like say you slap something in the synthesizer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right now, something that happens so much is you will get like life regen and thorns and just loads of garbage
Yeah.
suffixes. But if you
Yeah.
got like if the garbage ones, like if the worst ones was like, oh, 2% fire rest and 3% lightning rest. If that was the worst you could get, you know, like sure, it's not great, it's not gonna be a huge difference to your build, but those are useful
Yeah.
stats. Or if you got like
That's true.
7 flat life on every item, that adds up.
That does. Yeah, that does. That's
And
true.
then like the endgame ones, they don't all need to be like, oh, onslaught, max rest, endurance charges. You know, they can like, I don't know. Feel like
But
they
I do
missed it.
think there needs to be a clearer path of how you obtain that, of
Yeah.
how you get there. I think that's one of the main issues, is that you have no idea how you create that item and how you get there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so complicated, so convoluted. I
Yeah.
think going forward, if they want to implement synthesis, they need to do the opposite of what they did with Betrayal, where they were dumbing it down. They need to, or at least with the UI, they need to up their game on the UI if they
Yeah.
want synthesis to be in the game. We cannot have a simplified version of the of how
Oh
this
no,
works.
no, I agree.
There needs to be like more information, like more stat. I mean, I would love it if I would love it if say you synthesize some items and that gives you some numbers in game to what are the odds of getting these
Yep.
things, and it just shows automatically. But you would have to like start doing it, right? And it
Yeah.
would give you this like building block towards, okay, what is it? What does this give me? In the same sense that you would, let's say you would unveil things.
Yep, I agree.
Kind of the same idea.
I'm still upset that Betrayal went core. I hate it, mostly because of
I
whatever
hate
it's
how
called.
it's implemented.
I hate the thing that everyone hates.
Intervention.
Intervention. I hate it. Makes no sense.
Intervention. Yeah.
It's a big question mark, and I don't understand how it happened. I don't understand how it's in the game. I wish I was there on like a dev meeting or something, and I just wish I could be a fly on the wall where somebody's saying, okay, so here's how intervention works. It's like these really strong monsters, and they appear out of nowhere, and they attack the player. And how did nobody ask, like, what happens when the player runs away? And then a dev goes, oh, it chases them forever until they die. They're just part of that map now. They're just
No.
again
Not just
and again
chases
and again
them.
and again.
It teleports on them, sometimes blocking the character because it spawns in front.
Like, how? How is this in the game? How did no one, like, if I was sitting at a dev meeting and someone says that, oh yeah, it just chases the player, it teleports on top of them until they're fucking dead or you get killed, I would be like, huh, good one. It's like, oh no, I'm serious. I'd be like, okay, you're fired.
Okay.
I'm exaggerating, but it's still like insane to me how that's just in the game. Like it's like that, like, you know, that comic strip of like the boss and the girl and then like the unpopular opinion. It's like, oh, how about they only teleport once and then stay there, and then that guy gets thrown out the window. You know, it's like that comic.
Yeah.
Because like it would be so great. Like it's a cool thing, right? Intervention, it's a
I'm
cool
imagining
mechanic.
in the comic right now.
Yeah, it's a cool thing though. Like intervention, it teleports on top of you, you get ambushed. If it could happen in a bad time, and it could end up killing your character. But that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. And then just let them stay there. You want to run away from them? You don't like the mechanic? Let us run away from it. I'll slap down a decoy totem and run.
Yeah.
It's just like
it needs to have like a timer or something to where you have time to disengage.
Yeah.
No, we were talking about this yesterday as well. I mean, I think this boils down to like you can't really opt out of it. It's just sometimes like, you won't know. Like, okay, well, you will know because your flash turns black in the bar when you log. Like, okay, so for anyone who hates being intervened, if you're playing on hardcore, if you ever see your flash up in the bar, like wherever you have it, if you see the flash turning black as you enter the map, it's betrayal. That's like the key indication. So now you know that means you're in a betrayal map. So just be ready for intervention.
Wait, repeat that again?
You don't know?
No?
Okay, if your flasks, they don't have a if they don't have a if they don't have a what's it called, a picture, it's just like the icon is just black, a texture, no texture. Yeah, no texture. It doesn't have a texture. It's just black. It's betrayal. Whenever you load in. Oh, it's your maybe your buffs. Your buffs, maybe. Oh yeah, your buffs, of course, because you don't have flask yet. No, but it's because my flasks go up on the top, right? Sometimes I load in and I pop up my flask because I start running, right? So I'm always assuming. Oh no, because I don't show buffs. I only show flasks. So the only time I have buffs is when my flask buffs are up, because I track them by looking on top. So I will immediately pop up my flasks and they will not have a texture, and then betrayal is in there. Whenever I see that, I always know.
Okay, I was gonna stray on the podcast screen, but let's see if I can replicate this for everybody watching, because I need to see this. I need to see this. I'm gonna go see if
it's true.
on
It
hardcore.
happens all the time.
See, I have betrayal on a siege map. I'm gonna see if this works. We're gonna. Oh, I don't have a siege. Wait, I must have. Do I have horizon orbs? I want to just see if this is true, because this is like. Oh, I didn't even get one. Crystal.
I mean, maybe it's just my hardware. I don't know. I can guarantee you, it works, because it happens to me all the time.
Really?
Yes, really. It might. I mean, it might not do it for everyone. It's just, I don't know. It happens to me.
I kind of want to show this for everybody watching in case it works. So, does anyone, Embu maybe? Do you have a map I can get?
Apparently, Embu has the same issue, just without betrayal as well.
Okay.
I mean, I have a really
I need
good
a
SSD.
siege.
It only happens whenever I get betrayal. That's the only time it happens.
Does anyone have a siege on hardcore synthesis? Trade league? Normal? This needs to, like, I just need it.
I think some people use it for farming as well, like actually farming betrayal that way.
We can clip it. I just need Ember. Can you log in and give me a siege for someone? Anyone? I'll take a handout right now. Siege. Right. Okay. We're gonna switch off the podcast screen for a second. This needs to be seen.
Just make sure you enable your buffs so you can see them on top.
Okay.
Or wherever they're shown.
Buffs. All right. Where's Ember? Here he is. Okay. UI. Show fast buffs.
Yeah, they're right.
And our
yeah,
icons.
do that. Yeah, just show all of that.
Okay, so I just like put in a white siege, and it's betrayal. That's fine, right?
I think so.
What's supposed to happen?
You're supposed to like use your potion. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't work for you. Use your flasks. I used my flasks, and it's like, I don't know if it's only with the flasks, because I use my flask immediately when I enter. I don't know. Maybe it's only the flask that happens with. You saw it? Oh, apparently someone said you saw it. I don't know.
You've waited too long. Buff was black. Cinder, right? Tell Nugi to get a new SSD.
Damn it.
You gave time to
No,
load.
I load in really fast whenever I have an M whatever MB me. Yeah, I have one of those things. Okay, I'm gonna go on and see if I can make it happen. I'll take a picture.
Okay.
I'll take a picture and see if I can show you.
This doesn't seem to work for me. That's interesting. Anyway,
I mean, you didn't flash your flasks at all. I don't know if it's only flask icons. It could be that, because that's the only thing I see, you know.
Huh.
But let me check here. So, Peninsula.
Interesting. Well, that was sort of worth checking into.
I need a Peninsula. Do you have one? I'm on trade.
I'll check. That's very interesting. The faster your SSD is, the slower, short the duration. I don't know. I've never seen it.
Really? Huh.
Yes, so Peninsula.
Nice. I'm in your hideout.
Awesome. Huh. Interesting. I've never heard of this. Clearly, this isn't foolproof in any case. No, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, feel free to
I
like
mean,
take a
it's just
screenshot and send it to me, and then I'll show.
yeah. That's what I'm gonna try and do here.
That's crazy.
Let's see.
Oh, do you have multi-threading on?
Yes.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
I definitely caught it.
Nice.
It's like a second.
All right, I'm excited to see this. It's a second.
Save as.
Yeah, Ember has the same thing, I think. Interesting. Ember with the save.
Right, let me show you. Here you go. And this was, I opened the betrayal map, right? It had the betrayal on, so
Yeah.
it's 100% that there's betrayal on there. This is what happens. As you can see, it's only my flasks. That's why, right? That's where you maybe made the mistake. That's what it looks like every time there's betrayal for me. Every time.
Interesting. Interesting. Oops. Huh. Did not know about that.
That's betrayal. That means betrayal.
So you're called, actually your actual name is Hackian. Interesting. Hacker Man Nugi. Well,
people have been farming with this method. I'm pretty sure that's how people were farming betrayal. They would like spam zones until they got the black bars.
Huh. So, okay. GGG, this man right here, we've caught him red-handed. He even provided proof. I don't do this.
I mean,
so
maybe you don't
him.
need the black bars. It's just a good indication.
Ha.
So yeah, now you know. Betrayal.
Let's
How to avoid it.
see if I can. I know exactly what to do for this man here, and see if I can do it fast enough.
Yikes! Don't rat. There's enough rats in PoE. We don't need a third one.
Let's see. This should be easy.
Oh, no.
There. This man right here. There we go. That's what we do to cheaters. Good. That's what we do to cheaters around here, Nugi.
The
you have been jailed. That's what we do, dude. That's what we do. But, wow. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. That was good. I'm happy there was a green screen one on Google search. That was good. You are captured. Huh. Interesting. Very interesting. I didn't know about that at all. I'm gonna try that now. No. Oh. Never heard about it. But yeah, well that's pretty cool. Interesting. But huh.
I mean, on the betrayal thing though, on like having things like spawning in and it feeling bad. Again, it's like for these very, very intrusive mechanics that you don't have a choice but engage with them. I think that's really what people don't like. Yeah. It's the same thing with synthesis, right? That you're kind of like referring to there. It's just these are like very punishing and intrusive mechanics, yeah. And if there's nothing you can do to avoid it, it ends up feeling really bad, especially if you get like a chain of like bad events.
Yeah, I agree.
I really like betrayal. Like as like there are so many things that I don't like about it, but whenever I end up actually fighting them, and it's the same thing with synthesis, whenever I end up actually being in there, I'm having a great time. It's just all the surrounding factors that are just like ugh.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm actually still not a massive fan of betrayal. I don't know what it is.
I mean, I like the challenge. I like that they were so scary. I like that they were so rippy. I kind of like that. I need that. I need that in PoE.
However, I feel like there's just so fucking much on the screen now. Like, it's just I'm just running in a circle, dude. I'm not doing some sort of skillful dodging to not die from betrayal. It's just a matter that I don't have a fucking clue what is happening on
Oh,
my
really?
screen. I hear Haku. I'm like, okay, well, I know not to stand in the same spot. But that's just pretty much all of them anyway. It's not like I'm doing
Huh.
some crazy skillful dodging. It's just don't stand still. Because I can't see the fucking floor. There's like people spinning with like
I
chaos
mean, you play
damage.
Elementalist with Winter Orb all the time, so I mean, you are making it hard for yourself.
Hey, I have more hours in RF, I'll have you know.
No, okay. I mean, for me, it's like the opposite. I really do feel like they have a lot of them have really good like tells of what they do, and so you like step here, step
But
there.
they
They're like kind of
do.
a
But there's so
cooldown.
much else happening too. There's volatiles popping off. The floor is
That's
fucking
true.
covered in lava. There's just so much going on. So yeah, like
Right, so it's
Haku.
like
If I have
whenever
Haku
you're
on my
doing your
own,
double,
yeah,
when you do like double beyond and all that stuff, and then it
yeah,
pops up, then it gets like really
yeah.
out of control. Yes,
It's
that
like,
is
and there's
true.
so much of that. It's not even double beyond. It's like if I have Haku on my own, yeah, I'm gonna see that there's Haku. He's about to slam me. I
Yeah.
can dodge that. But there's 3 or 4 other betrayal bosses. There's the fucking Host spawn. A Backstealth is over there to the left spawning Skellies. And I'm just like, what
Lost
the
double
fuck
beyond.
is going on?
Yeah.
And I can't see the
I mean,
floor.
that is PoE when you stack things on top of things,
Yeah.
and that's why you need like. I mean, that's. I don't know. I think I find it really fun whenever you get to those like really crazy moments and things just like you just know I'm like dealing with
Yeah.
death here. That's the kind of stuff I like in PoE, and I actively seek it out, and it often kills me. But
Yeah.
I'm okay with that because I'm having fun.
That's fair. Is there anything else we want to discuss here for the podcast?
I think we got around.
Yeah,
Some
that
good
was good.
topics.
That was longer than I thought. I thought we'd do like a 1 hour
Yeah.
episode. Hopefully also, I want to say a big thank you to the most beautiful chat for joining us here. You guys are amazing. Hopefully, you guys are enjoying the podcasts. And the next one is going to be the 2nd of June. And that's going to be, we'll do a big episode about lots of league start tips. We should have, the patch notes won't be out
And
then.
the
So
league, I mean,
maybe,
we will know a lot about the league at that point, right? So there's
yeah,
gonna
but
be a lot
maybe
of
we delay it.
probably.
Maybe we delay it till after patch notes are out.
Oh, I mean, we could do that. It could, yeah, that could be a delayed one, depending on what happens.
So,
Right?
yeah, I kind of like that. Um, so we'll find out. I'll try to see if like Bex will know ahead of time when patch notes are gonna drop. But like the current idea for the day is the 2nd. So on Sunday. So 2nd of June, but we might move it. I'll try to see if we can figure out when the notes are out. And we'll be giving out like league start tips. We'll be talking about what we're doing and actually just focus completely on the new league. That is what we're gonna do. That's the next one. So yeah. Dude, that was a great episode. I love doing this with you.
Same.
We'll have an outro for the next one as well. We don't yet. We're making one. We'll have another
nice.
screen to show stuff on too, hopefully.
Nice.
But yeah, thanks to everyone.
Yeah, it's great.
Feels good. I guess we just end here then.
On a just on a don't hate me note here. Don't hate me for expressing myself poorly with skilling games. It's a hot topic. Just I'm sorry if you're on the same page.
Right. No, that's good. I mean, that's part of the reason I was so keen on doing a podcast with you, is that we don't really share the same opinion on a lot of things. That's like
Yeah.
the main reason I want to do. I think it's a great podcast team. So, on that note, we're gonna end. Where actually, yeah, let's sell out at the end here. Where can we find more Nugi?
You can find more Nugi on everything Nugian. Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, Google if there's something I missed.
Nice. And these are every 2 weeks. We're gonna try to do them 7 p.m. BST.
And here every 2 weeks, yes.
Yeah. Here every 2 weeks. My name is Zizaran. Hopefully you're watching this on my channel. If not, it's someone stolen it. I've been stolen. Tell me. But twitch.tv/Zizaran. Everything's Zizaran. And yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll see you back in 2 weeks.